Hey y'all, Moses here. In today's video, we're taking a look at the patch 25 patch notes. They have just hit the test server. There's a ton of changes, some really excellent ones, some not so great ones. We're going to read through them all. I'm going to react to them and kind of give you my thoughts. So without further ado, let's get started. The EDC 3 IEMs from Massdrop are ready to go everywhere with you. Wear them at home, in the office, at the gym, or while traveling or commuting. You'll get great functionality in addition to the award-winning sound. You'll get 2 removable cables, one a braided cable for top-notch performance, and a second cable with an inline remote and microphone. I've taken these things all over the world with me. They're extremely comfortable, they work with every single device, they have terrific sound, and they have great value as well. Check out the link in the description down below and get yourself a pair from Massdrop right now. All right, so we're jumping right in. Now, I've copied everything over from the announcement into this just because it's a little bit easier to read. So it's a little bit janky, but bear with me. So there's a bit of preamble saying thank you, everybody, and here's what we're having in store for you. So the first thing is the Bizon. Now, this was kind of expected. We were hoping to see this maybe around the launch of Vikendi, but it's only been a little while, so no big deal. So it's coming in is a 9mm SMG. It holds 53 rounds by default, and it can only take muzzle and sight attachments. Now, it does have I think this is the suppressor shown here for the Bizon. I don't know what a compensator is going to look like on this thing or what it can take. I don't think there's any limitations, but it doesn't take grips or magazines, and it has 53 rounds by default, so that's not a very big deal, I think. But I think a compensator on the Bizon is probably going to be the best choice, mainly considering that it, well, we don't know the recoil model either, but mainly considering it doesn't have a grip, I think a compensator will probably be the best choice for the Bizon muzzle, and then whatever sight you want to put on there. The other thing now is canted sights. Now, this was another big ask when Vikendi came out, since it was featured in the trailer, and it's shown here. You can see that the canted sight is a new attachment. So the canted sight is a new scope for weapons with a secondary scope slot. All right, so from what I'm understanding from the canted sight is this thing right here, and then you can put a scope on top of it. So the actual canted sight is this thing. So it's essentially a red dot, and then you put the scope on afterwards, and it basically fits on all the ARs, the DMRs, and everything else as well. So you can put on basically everything. So including all the sniper rifles. So essentially everything in the game, as far as I can see, will be able to use this thing, including the LMG. So the main scope will be different depending on how you set it up. So this is kind of just how you get it set up. If you equip the canted sight, only your default aim will be the red dot, this thing. If you equip a canted sight after the scope, the default aim will be the scope. So there's a couple different ways to set it up, but regardless, canted sights in the game, this will be a big deal for those guys who want to quickly switch between sights. And an interesting choice. I think it stands to be a little bit more realistic than the Ring of Elysium model, where you can just quickly hit V and change your scope entirely. New vehicle. This one was kind of teased as well not too long ago. It's the Snowbike. It looks a little different, obviously, than a regular motorcycle. The Snowbike is quicker and has better mobility than the snowmobile. However, it is much less durable and easily destroyed. The motorcycle will no longer spawn on Vikendi. Well, fair enough. It's a snow-themed map, and I think this is a pretty cool addition. So, pretty neat. Beyond that, night mode coming in. This is going to be, again, Vikendi only. Moonlight. Although this setting is at night, big glowing supermoon and bright aurora borealis will help you detect enemies. So, overall, going to be darker. I think it'll be an interesting addition to the game. I don't know how it's going to play, but it'll definitely break up the Vikendi mode a little bit, which I think is not necessarily stale, but this will be cool. I mean, it's the first time we've seen night mode, and I'm excited to play it. Gameplay. Modified and decreased the damage amount delivered to vests. This is an interesting change. The existing damage calculation used to apply 100% damage to vests. Vests have been modified to receive lower damage. This is a good change. I think this is better than the rumored vest repair kit. This is just a good idea, I think. Just receiving lower damage to your vest. Changing out vests became an annoying part of mid and late game PUBG, where you were constantly looking for fresh vests or trying not to destroy vests on other players. This is good. I think this will help. It doesn't say exactly how this works, but this will hopefully alleviate the constant search for fresh vests in PUBG. They've also modified the damage system for throwable weapons. Damage and effects are now applied correctly to characters hiding behind small obstacles, such as a thin pole. This one should say thanks, Wacky Jackie, on this one right now, because he's the one who originally discovered that you can line of sight grenades even behind tiny little things. So this will probably really, again, increase the effectiveness of interior grenades and other things. I think this primarily affects grenades, but maybe also flashbangs as well. So hopefully interior grenades will make a little bit more sense, and people being saved by broom handles and whatever other small objects will no longer be the case. But this is another great change. The trajectory guideline is now shown properly until the throwable weapon leaves a character's hand. This is also a good change. So you know how sometimes you'll let go of the grenade as you're moving and the grenade will go randomly other places? I think the trajectory guideline will be a little bit more accurate in that case now. They've also reduced the delay when opening a parachute. This will make players able to change directions much earlier. Blue zone in Vikendi has been modified. The blue zone will be generated further away from the center. I was talking about this today. This is annoying how every circle on Vikendi seems to be in the center of the map. So the item spawn of Vikendi has been modified. This one I'm probably gonna do a separate video on, maybe, but let's hit the brass tacks here. They've decreased the number of SMGs and increased the number of ARs. Great. However, they have decreased the number of DMRs. The sniper rifle rate remains the same. They have reduced the number of level 3 helmets and vests, and they have balanced the spawn ratio of attachments. They've already put out a dev letter about this. I was reading it on stream. I don't understand the reduction of DMRs. Now, to them, it's because DMRs are super powerful. But guess what? The next time they look at that data, ARs are going to be super powerful, because everyone, including myself, is probably going to be switching over now to a full dual AR meta on Vikendi. In the dev letter, they also mentioned that they're increasing 4x scopes. I don't understand that they can say that the DMRs are the most powerful weapon, and because of the open nature of Vikendi that it's way too powerful and so they're reducing them, when I could never find DMRs in the first place on Vikendi. I never found them. So the amount of DMRs is going to just overall decrease. I think this is a bad change. I think that the reduction of level 3 helmets and vests is a good change. I think level 3 stuff was way too prevalent. They've reduced it by about 50% for level 3 helmets, 49% total. And for vests, they've done it like 36% reduction. So this is good. This is good. This is good. This is not great. Now, SMGs, I think that they kind of want to press the SMG meta on Vikendi, but I mean, in first-person perspective, you heard me talk about this. I'm not going to bore you with this argument again. This is not the right change for the first-person meta. This is not the right change for the first-person meta. But you know what? It's a step generally in the right direction, but we're going to see a big resurgence of the dual AR meta on Vikendi, I think, now for sure. So there's some UI changes in here as well. I'm not going to go through this too drastically. There's a lot of little UI things in there. For the most part, I think I'm going to generally skip it, except for this thing. Added additional game options. Added an option to set default shooting mode for weapons. This is a great change. So when you pick up an SMG, it'll automatically be in the automatic mode. They've also added an option for the Canted sight, a new attachment, and they've added an option J to view details of a weapon. So I think the J key will be the inspect weapon key now. Performance. Optimized performance by modifying the number of footprints shown around the character, and they've improved frame drops in the lobby and the inventory. Would have liked to see some more in-game optimization, but this appears to be generally a content patch. Buckle up, buckaroos. Anyway, so skins and items. They've added a battle stat weapon skin. Now, this is essentially stat track for PUBG, and this is the only skin in the game right now, this AK skin right here. So it looks like a vehicle odometer just slapped on the side of your AK here, but let's read more. With a battle stat weapon skin applied, the number of players killed with that weapon is recorded and displayed on the skin. You can press J in-game to instantly view the number of kills made with that weapon. Cool. Kills are recorded only when the original owner of the skin is using the skin. So that means if someone picks up your stuff, it's not gonna show, or it's not gonna change with that person. The item can be traded in the marketplace, and once ownership goes to a different player, the number of kills recorded on that skin will be reset. Battlestat weapon skins can be purchased for 10 BP on the test server for system testing purposes. Once the patch is pushed to live server, the item can be acquired through a BP crate that can be opened with a purchased key. They've added the East Erangel Police Crate as a new crate. This crate can be unlocked using the East Erangel Police Key. The Industrial Security AKM, the battle stat version, can be gained from the East. Yeah, it's in the, well, guess what? It's the lowest probability to get out of all the stuff. 0.16% drop rate in a locked crate, which requires a paid key. Well, there goes all my excitement for the battle stat weapon that I will never have, because there's no freaking way that I'm buying crates for BP and then paying to open them in this way. There's some other stuff in here, like some basic stuff, but this is the only item that I cared about, and I'm never going to have it because it's behind a paid crate that no one even... I don't understand. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of data that shows that this is probably... This just adds to my conspiracy theory that these guys are, you know, trying to juice us out of money in this way. Like, this is like a battle stat weapon is a great change. Awesome. I love that. It's a cool way to track stats, but it's only on one skin in a paid crate, or not a paid crate. Well, it's a BP crate that requires a paid key. So it's essentially a paid crate. I'm not going to even bother. I'm not going to open a single one of these crates. I haven't opened a crate in a million years. I'm not going to do it for this. So I look forward to this being like $900 on the store forever, because no one's going to have one. All right, so the rest of this general stuff is just bug fixes. The only interesting one in here that I thought was annoying was this one, which was fixed an issue where the motorcycle engine would sometimes not turn off after a player has left the vehicle. That's the only one that's really interesting in here. I've read through all of these. Maybe there's some in there that you're interested in, so feel free to read through all the general and world bug fixes. All right, so that's the patch notes. My initial reaction is this. I'm super happy to see a bunch of new content. I'm happy about the Canted sites. I'm happy about the Bizon. I'm even happy about night mode, and I think a lot of you guys will be as well. I do think that all the new, even the new vehicle is kind of cool. I also think that some of the changes they've made to the Survivor Pass is really cool as well. I mean, just little quality of life stuff being added. The vest change, I think, is huge and also really great. The throwable weapons change, great. I mean, everything's great right up until the whole weapon skins thing, really. And I guess the DMR's balance as well. I understand where they're coming from weapon balance. They're playing with stuff. They're maybe trying to shift the meta in different ways. I don't think that they're coming from the right spot from a data analysis perspective, but whatever. I get it. At least they've reduced the amount of level 3 gear. For the most part, the item balancing stuff I'm okay with, aside from reducing DMRs. But I never saw them anyway, so it's... whatever. But the whole skins thing, that just doesn't feel right, man. I mean, the battle stat change is something that I think should be celebrated. They're adding something cool into the game. I would have much rather it come in as like a $10 purchase that everyone can try, especially when there's only one skin. If there was like a battle stat crate that you could get different battle stat weapons ranging from pistols to ARs, great. But there's only one, and it's being the most rare drop in a paid key crate. That seems greedy. There's no other word for it. I think that they're playing off a good idea into a money-making endeavor, and it doesn't feel good, so I'm not going to participate. I just don't think that the paid crate system is viable anymore, especially when they've seen, at least in my opinion, probably good success with the other way to distribute items just through the store. So that's all I really have about this. I'm interested to play the test server. I'm also interested to know what you guys think. I probably can anticipate what you guys are going to complain about and what you're going to be excited about. So leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll be back with some more test server footage when I have a chance to play it. If you like the video, guys, leave a like down below and subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. We'll have a bunch more test server footage coming up your way pretty soon. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/wtfmoses and on Twitch at twitch.tv/wtfmoses. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video of me talking incessantly. And until next time, I'll see you out there.